Too late. Hey,
Too
we're
late.
live.
Hey, we're live again.
We're going to do this podcasting thing today.
We are. We're gonna see how
Yeah.
many times my camera locks up again. I'm
I
just
just
gonna
hope
buy
it's
a
in a
new. Yeah,
compromising position.
it's it's likely. It's very likely. Oh, it's 175.
175.
That's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of hours. I literally 5, maybe 10 minutes ago put up 174 on
Wow.
iTunes and all the other multimedia platforms. So you can go
Very
listen
cool.
to Equally Qualified Superb Owl Edition 2.
Equally qualified.
Uh, yes.
Hey, I called it, and it didn't affect the outcome. I thought for sure it would.
I don't, I'm at this point. I'm convinced Tom Brady isn't human.
Well, there's probably some truth to that.
That's true, but hey, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I will complain every time that the Patriots win a Super Bowl. I will do this, just because I don't like the Patriots. But I can appreciate Tom Brady outside that system the first year saying,
Yep.
you know what? I don't need the Patriots to win a Super Bowl. Watch me do this. And so, in that he did.
Did
So.
you see that meme where it was like no greater team has ever been known, and it's Tom Brady like talking to the refs?
Oh yeah, and then it was
That's awesome.
I mean, some of the calls were a little suspect, I will say, but not terrible. I mean, it was an okay game. The commercials were okay. The officiating felt a little one-sided, but I mean, here's the thing: you're always gonna.
Yeah, it feels one-sided when your team's losing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, really, I didn't have a dog in that fight, so I just wanted a good game, and I didn't really even get that. So,
yeah, that was probably what I was disappointed the most about. I think was the lack of game.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you saw one team shut the other team completely down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is the point. I get it, but
yeah,
with it being the Superb Owl, you would think that there might be a little more competitiveness that showed on points.
Yeah, I mean, Casey had some injuries, and certainly, but I mean, it was the, Patrick Mahomes was running for his life the entire game.
Pretty much.
So, speaking of running for their lives, we're going to talk about WandaVision again?
Absolutely. Do you want to talk about that now or later? Because we may derail the show completely.
That's
I want
true.
to wait for Sam.
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
wait for Sam for WandaVision. Okay.
Good call.
Oh, let's see. What else happened in the news? You want to talk about Gina Carano is no longer part of the Mandalorian?
Sure.
She's no longer part of the Mandalorian.
I've heard rumors that they are recasting.
They are not recasting.
Good.
They
introduced a new character.
They came out
when they recast people.
Yeah, they came out. I saw an article a couple days ago that they are not recasting her in that role, but this just goes
into new characters with their own unique stories. Just write her off.
Yeah. And that thing we've talked about this before with various people. Like, you got to watch what you say on social media. We're not going to get into the content of it because there's really no point.
Right,
but
I mean, it's everywhere anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, actions have consequences, and when you're a celebrity, you're under that microscope. Like, that really is kind of what it boils down to. And this was not the first transgression that she has had.
There's been warning signs for a year, literally.
Yes, and as we were talking about previously, like the content of the stuff aside, people were talking about censorship and all this other stuff. Here's the deal. Companies have codes of conduct. Your rights of free speech do not override those codes of conduct. And so she violated it, and she's out. So,
and it's unfortunate.
Now the podcast has subtitles. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, guys. Hey, we have subtitles. I have no idea how or why.
Is it because you're on mute? Because if you got the volume off, it will do the subtitle.
No. All right. So Misty hates the fact that I have subtitles on all the time. Like, I just do. I have them on all the time on every show that I watch. She's not a fan. So I'm sorry. If I'm muted, then that's probably why you have subtitles. Which begs the question: Why am
are
I
you not
muted?
Why are you not listening?
All right,
It's
she's still
funny.
blaming me. That's fine. You can blame me.
It probably is your fault. Let's
It
just be real.
probably is. But yeah, so companies have codes of conduct. She violated it. She's out. Like that's
Yep.
how it is. And really the thing that because they had just announced a new like something of the New Republic, some Rangers show, or I can't remember what the title actually was, and like the general consensus was she was going to be the centerpiece of that show.
I think she
And
was.
so that opportunity is gone. But to Brandon's point, they're not going to recast it, but now they can introduce a new character. And I think the Mandalorian is at a point story wise where like them splitting up is there's a natural point for that to happen.
It's not gonna be too jarring, hopefully.
Yeah. The only other potential theory about what may be happening, this is like there is no evidence to support this whatsoever. Is you look at what Disney did with James Gunn, and James Gunn had those tweets and stuff like that. People threw a fit or whatever. He made some mea culpas, this, that, and whatever, and eventually he came back.
Well, the difference being James Gunn's stuff was a decade ago, and was stuff he had already deleted and apologized for. And you show he hasn't been making the same offensive kind of statements. And her stuff is current and repeatedly. They said, "Hey, we don't like you doing this."
Yeah.
And she's just very aggressively kind of fighting it. James Gunn said, "Hey, I'm sorry," and he kind of walked away and just kind of changed his behavior.
He walked away and he went to DC also.
He went to DC.
But I mean, the thing is, like, there's nobody is above redemption. So like it's possible. Like,
right, but you're seeing different patterns of behavior.
Yes, absolutely.
He was very much, "I'm sorry, I'm doing a different path. I'm above this."
And maybe, and that's the thing, and maybe she gets there. I don't know. Like I said, agree or disagree. She violated codes of conduct. That's what happens. Sorry for you.
I've been watching the Goldbergs, and they've been recasting people constantly just for other projects and shows, and it's so jarring. I hate when you see a different character with a different face, and I can't wrap my head around it. So whatever happens, please do not recast things. If people for whatever reason,
they said they won't. So that's going to be, like I said, we're a while from that show. Anyways, I don't think they start shooting for another like 2 months.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time to rewrite and retool some of that. So that's always fun.
I think the biggest controversy surrounding it really isn't so much the cut and dry of it, the reality of it. It's the fact that in other veins of our society, we've had claims of censorship and seen canceling and that kind of thing. And I just feel like we've walked so far away from understanding what a right is and what a responsibility is, because they're not the same thing. And if you sign a piece of paper or a contract that says one thing and you do something opposite, you can't claim that you didn't know. And I don't think people really understand that. I think they feel like she's another voice of a certain particular angle of things, and they feel like yet again they're being squashed. And I hate that for people. But like you said many times, it's the company directs what they want, what they are willing to accept and not. And because of that, you have to be willing to pay the price if you're going to continue to do it, and then unapologetically say you're not saying anything. This is how you feel.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think, it's too. Certainly this level of interaction about censorship and stuff like that is certainly more heightened now than it has ever been.
Absolutely.
And so that certainly contributes to it. In some respects, like, but here's the thing: there's also people who make like actual, just straight up just make mistakes, and there are, we do live in this sort of cancel culture. Like, just for example, Bungie launched their new season, and they have this weekly quest, and it's called Blood and Honor. Well, Blood and Honor is a tag from Nazi Germany. They didn't know, they didn't put it together. They issued basically, they issued an apology, and they're going to take it out in the next patch. Like, they're going to rename the quest or whatever it is. So, like, some stuff is just, if someone makes a genuine mistake, like, I don't get the cancel culture we're in, but also, like I said, this was a pattern of behavior. So,
well, and I think, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm not part of the whole, canceling people and all that kind of thing, but there's a degree of accountability that comes from people pointing things out. And because people point out your error doesn't mean that they're canceling you. Your response to your error is ultimately your responsibility, and that then perpetuates being canceled or whatever.
Agreed.
Like you said, like Bungie, for example.
Yeah.
That quest name obviously holds a lot of weight and needs to be handled respectfully. So as a result of that, they've done it, and now everything's good, you know. But it's your actions after an error has been made that dictate a lot of things, I think.
Agreed. And this has been going on for a long time, and there are plenty of opportunities to, regardless of what you think and feel, just buckle down, get with the program, keep your job. And that did not go in that direction.
You can do every time that this happens, and it happens because we're talking about cancel culture.
Good.
Gina Carino.
And Gina Carino.
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
The thing that drives me crazy sometimes is you have people who have these platforms who can do so much good on these platforms, and they don't. Like, to me, like, let's just say that this became the biggest podcast in the world. That would be amazing. At that point, like, I feel like as something like that, you have a responsibility to use a platform for good.
But
like,
do you not think that's what she thinks she's doing? That's what, from people's opinion, they are fighting. They're the heroes of their own story.
I mean, there is that.
Yeah,
I mean, there certainly that may be why she's fighting it so hard. To me, when I say it's like a platform for good, I'm like, let's raise money, let's do this. I mean, granted, that's something that we do here, you know, with Extra Life and stuff like that all the time.
Like Stephen Amell, like he's raised a lot of money for charities and stuff. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so I just, you know, for what, basically for good that nobody could argue against. Like,
if the internet has taught us anything, people can argue against anything.
That's true.
It is very true. Sam, you've got a crazy echo on your side, kind of a loud echo. Are you I might, hold on, I'm going to tweak some settings here.
Are you screaming into your microphone? Come on, man.
I am.
Yeah, let me see if maybe I just tweak your audio just a touch.
StreamYard has echo cancellation on.
Yeah, and it may just be the room you're in. You sound, I mean, you're there, but you're a little echoey, but that's okay.
Echo, it's just come over reverb. It's just a very deep booming Sam.
Yeah, that's me.
Sam is Barry White.
Got a lot of bass in his voice.
Exactly right. So, you know, that's Gina Carano. You know, sad about it, but you know, I liked her character. Like, I thought it was cool.
Character. I'm very sad about that.
So, but you know, it's one of those.
My shows, people.
I know. Speaking of other, excuse me. There's a cat. There it is. It's because of his manly voice. That's right, Hannah. Hannah, we miss you. We want you to come back soon.
True.
Okay, so I had no idea that Supergirl was. Did you guys see this video online yesterday about the Supergirl casting?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
they cast Supergirl for
okay,
Flash.
so I'm gonna see if I can share, if I can just share this tab. Hang on. Some screen audio. Hold on one second, because this was really, I thought this was really cool. We're gonna see if this goes. Give me this Chrome tab, please. Okay. I've got to do something about audio. Hold on one second. I messed that up. Technology. Look for the share audio checkbox in the next window.
Hi, Bandit.
We had a tech guy in the group.
Yeah, I forgot it. There's a tiny checkbox. Okay. We should have some audio with this. This I thought was actually really cool.
Hola.
Do you guys have
Hola,
audio
Sasha,
there?
¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú cómo estás?
The truth is that I don't, we still don't have
Hold on, I may have that site muted.
an answer.
We can hear it.
And
You can hear
Screen
it?
Yeah.
The questions.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just part of
Full
the
screen it.
Let's ask them,
Full
please.
screen the
I've
video?
been dying over here. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, here it goes. Can you fly?
Can I fly?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? Can I fly?
Like fly, like physically.
If you need me to.
I don't have audio on
Okay.
this side for some reason, but
No, of course not. ¿Cómo así que si puedo volar? O sea,
She lied on her resume.
All right. Do you want to fly?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Well, then maybe you will need this. You know what this
What
is?
What?
You're Supergirl.
Oh.
Felicitaciones. Muy bien. ¿Está bien, Sasha?
The director's having way too much fun with this.
Come back. Felicitaciones. Congratulations, Sasha. You made it. You made it.
Thank you, guys. This is like.
Okay. Thank you. No, thank you. We're all thrilled about it. You know, we're super happy. And
Little me would be like, no way. Can I freak out for a second?
Of course. Yeah. Take your time.
I got it.
¿Sabías lo que era?
I can't. I'm probably not gonna stop crying all day, and I'll probably see you guys.
She's your new
That's awesome.
Supergirl.
So
Did
that's
you
for
include the
Flash
music,
movie?
or was that something he did?
I believe that's something he did. This
That's
was from
wonderful.
his. This is from his Instagram. I for whatever reason I couldn't hear any of it, and my camera's locked up, so that's sweet. Love it. I
Optimizing
love.
positions.
Yes,
That's got to be the
indeed.
name of the. That's the name of the episode right there.
Yes,
He's stuck in the
indeed.
Phantom Zone.
I am. I'm stuck. I'll be back in just a second. But she is Supergirl. She is going to make her debut in The Flash.
Has she
Good.
been in anything else that we? might
The
be
Young and the
able to-
Restless.
Ah,
That's why we're all very familiar with her work.
That's very true. I'll be back.
I think I do know somebody that's on that show. Well, I don't know them, but I know their sibling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a person I used to work with. Her brother is on a soap opera, and I believe it's Young and the Restless.
Ooh.
They're from locally from Jinx. So
Fantastic.
interesting. Well, that's cool. I like seeing her be that excited. That's
I do
fantastic.
too. Yeah.
Because that tells me right there, like it meant a lot to her to be part of it, which then tells me that she's gonna give everything she has to it. That's
I like
awesome.
when people are invested in the roles.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that
Even if
costume looked awesome too. It definitely
sure.
tied into the GCU and
Yeah.
Cavill's
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have some connection there.
Yep. and you know, maybe it's one of those things that for her it's just an opportunity to have a big break, but either way, I still think that's amazing. That's awesome. She's invested, and I bet it's going to turn out amazingly. So
I think she'll do great. I am just worried with the state of the DCU, and when you see people adding so many things into one movie, like they did with BVS and Justice League. Like we already have a lot of characters in the Flash, and
I don't know what you're talking about, man. They are streamlined,
we got like
Thread
3
the
different
needle.
Batman.
thread
They're
the
doing a
needle, the
multiverse,
whole
they're-
nine, man.
Got too many villains.
Something we saw in '89 is going to play part in this movie. It's amazing.
I just don't have confidence in DC pulling off big, complicated plot movies.
I agree. But that's awesome.
But
Yeah,
she's going
it's
to be
awesome.
great. I'm
She's
sure.
gonna be
Yep.
great. Congratulations, whoever you
Hey
are.
Sam, while we're waiting on Cav to do whatever it is that he's doing to fix
Yes.
his compromised position, I wanted to let you know because I know you and Hannah are into D&D to some level.
A little bit.
BlizzCon today at 4:00 our time.
Ooh.
Critical Role is doing a one shot for D&D.
Oh, that's
What did I
exciting.
tell
And
you?
you
Because
can-
your
you
deep
can-
love of Critical Role, Sam.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Deep
actually
love.
know if he likes Critical Role or not. Thanks for letting me make a fool of myself, Brandon. Appreciate that. You know what, Sam? Forget it. Just forget it. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's not a
So-
thing.
So I have a question, Nick.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you might not know the answer to. But a D&D RPG, is there a standalone Diablo RPG, or is there?
I have no idea.
Do you know what rule set they're using? Is this going to
I have
be D&D 5e?
I have no. I have
Surely
no
it will
information.
tie in somehow to their one of their universes.
Well,
No.
no. Tell her to
You
watch
said-
the show.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about what rules or anything.
Earth
They
2
played
Church
other
is very
systems.
insistent that you watch the show. If you're not going to be on
And
it, at least
don't
watch
ever
it.
make an assumption that Sam likes anything. Jeez.
Mhm.
They played a lot of other RPG systems on Critical Role, but usually they'd use the D&D 5e system. So I'm just curious if this is announcing a whole Diablo world and system, or if they're just making Diablo characters and they wrote their own content using D&D 5e. I'm kind of curious.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
you might have to watch it. Sam,
Tune
don't
in
watch
and
it
find
since
out.
you don't care. I mean,
It's not that I don't care. It's a
That I
story.
don't care.
That's all I'm gonna
Do you
say.
like
It's
the
a
Diablo
story.
world?
it's not that I don't care, but I don't care.
Sam, do you like
No,
the
I had
Diablo
a bad
games?
experience. I made mistakes. I'm willing to accept this is a shortcoming on my part. Everybody we know loves Critical Role, and I'm sure everybody that watches this show loves Critical Role.
This
And
could be a good
it
opportunity
it is
for
a
you, Sam.
fantastic thing.
As a one-shot without any other connector world, you can just dive in, enjoy this one chunk, and then walk away.
Exactly. So this is going to be fantastic. Everybody should participate.
Thank you, Nick.
Everybody watch.
Don't worry, I won't
Thank
do it
you,
again.
Nick.
It's fine. I know Sam doesn't like anything. It's fine.
I don't
Everything's
like
fine.
anything. Everything's the worst.
I think that's Hannah saying she's going to try and join.
All right, let's do it.
Yes. I'm back. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm about to lose my mind on this stupid thing. So, Camlink, garbage.
Get Nerds is about to join the podcast.
Sweet. I dig it. Oh, while we wait for Gather the Nerds to join the podcast.
I'd say don't hold your breath.
Yes.
I just think it's hilarious that she's interacting as Gather the
The
Nerds.
Nerds.
Yeah.
I don't
You-
understand Facebook.
But at first interacted as herself.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's
I
probably
love it.
because she's on the page and not watching from her page. She's
Right,
probably
yeah.
logged in as that.
That's
so
just so funny.
yes,
oh
indeed.
man, I love it. I love it.
Oh,
So what's this Batman 78, Batman or Superman 78, Batman 89? What's all that?
we're gonna extend that universe in the comics world.
Mhm.
So Batman 89, Superman, they are going to extend those universes and continue those stories in an all-new digital-first DC series. So called Batman. Look, the cover on is on the article there. You can find all the links to all of our articles on gathernerds.com, by the way. And so starting July 2021, they will continue those stories in a comic form, which I think is pretty fun.
I follow some of those artists, and they've been posting like concept art for a lot of the characters for the
Mhm.
Batman. It looks fantastic. It's
It's
really
gonna-
neat looking.
The thing that drives me crazy, and this is just the collector in me, because it's a digital first. Like sometimes digital first stuff traditionally it's all digital artwork and not as many traditional things. I haven't seen the concept art. Like I would love something physical out of these books. And what they may do is what some artists will do is a majority of their work will be digital, but like splash pages and stuff they will do as physical.
They're publishing a book with the art. That's what I was seeing they were promoting.
Yeah.
was an
And
art book.
so there may be an opportunity to grab something physical out of those books, which would be a lot of fun. But yes, they are they're
Always
continuing
get the
those.
physical.
Yes. They are continuing those Hannah.
That is perfect. That definitely is worth the 5 minutes you spent to get a avatar. That's great.
I had to scroll
5
through
minutes, nothing.
all of my photo albums on my phone to find something.
It's so good.
Okay, so
She made that like a year ago with the full knowledge that we would be obsessed with WandaVision right now.
that's true. So since we are going to go into WandaVision talk, let's put up our
Spoiler.
there is our spoiler. There's Wanda in the corner. She's about
You
to
should
blast
make Hannah
Earth
sit
to
through
Nobody
a whole
puts
bunch of
Wanda in the corner.
non-WandaVision talk.
All right, Sam, you said so. All right, so Justice League was that? No. All right, WandaVision. Spoilers abound. If you weren't with us last time, as long as Wanda's on the screen, we're talking about WandaVision, which means you are not safe from spoilers.
That's right.
I watched it this morning. It was awesome. So many cool things are happening. The musical episode was completely unexpected.
Right.
We got a new
Every
theme
time,
song.
They get me every time.
after last week's musical episode.
I know,
I mean,
they
it's-
get me every time.
So you've got a couple of big reveals. Well, I would say 3 big reveals. One, there's obviously something going on with, and I just blanked on her name. Basically, the new
Agatha.
Captain Marvel,
Rambo.
Photon,
Rambo,
Monica.
So you've definitely got something going on with her, as in she's the next Captain Marvel or something along those lines.
We had
Well,
an
I
origin
have a-
story. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I
was.
have a thought on that one, but go ahead.
So you got that one. Agnes is Agatha Harkness, and she's a witch.
Which we called.
Which
Yeah.
we called a while
But they
ago.
got
We
me.
did. We said
We
she
didn't
had to
trust
be one
her.
of the big bags.
But then she had a breakdown with Vision. I'm like, she's just a victim. We were wrong the whole time. And
Never
Totally.
underestimate
That
Catherine
was so
Hahn.
good.
Oh, so
They-
bad.
And 3, she killed the dog.
Oh,
Yeah, how they did that was pretty comical.
It
It was-
was.
I even had
And what
her
was his
laugh
name? What was the
so
dog's name?
hard at that.
What was the dog's name?
Sparkles or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Scratchy? That's the
I
rabbit.
don't know.
It wasn't
That's
Scratch.
Anyway.
anyway.
Just how they did it was epic.
Sparky?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Sparky.
I think it was
yeah.
Sparky.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
it
you're
was
right.
Sparky.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got Vision is now very much aware of really what's going on. Well, I say he's aware. He's aware what he thinks is going on. And so were we up until this episode.
So I'll make the argument that I think Agatha's big plan was to draw a wedge in between Wanda and Vision. If you see in the flashbacks, everything that she was doing, like with the neighbor and just messing him up and then having that breakdown with Vision on the inside of town, it was everything to kind of split them apart and to send Vision against Wanda. Like, she wants the kids, but I think that's what I couldn't figure out what she was doing. Like, why make all these random problems in the talent show? She's just kind of an agent of chaos. But I think she's to stretch Wanda's powers to the limit, and then to drive Vision away to be a villain or to attack Wanda.
You know, that's the interesting thing, because like I like the breaking the fourth wall of this episode. I thought that was really fun.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got that piece of it. And like I said, we've known all along that Agnes was something else.
Yes.
Just mainly from a couple episodes ago, she's like, do you want to take that from the top? You know, and stuff like that. So
Well, we've seen other characters do that as well. Like,
Yeah.
the kids, a lot of people are like, hey, do you want this, Wanda? What do you want me to do?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so the question becomes like, who's controlling what? Because they made the argument early on. Like, I think it was Vision who said, you know, you're controlling all these people. How are you doing basically of these people doing all these mundane tasks? Well, it may not be her. Like, she may be controlling what's like, I think she is trying to control some things, but in this episode, when everything starts falling apart, how much of that is Wanda and how much of that is Agnes / Agatha?
I still think it's mostly
I have a
Wanda. You kind of see the
theory on
proximity
that.
around her when they get to the edges of town.
Yeah.
What's your theory, Hannah?
Well, I think it's going haywire because she is losing control of her emotions. Like, she's clearly depressed in that, and they've been showing you, like, they've done very well at showing stages of grief with her.
Mhm.
And so we've gotten to depression parts, and I think as she, like, everything else is starting to fall apart around her, you're seeing that with how stuff keeps changing and, like, flickering and stuff.
Mhm.
And I also think that there's more than just Agnes. I think
Well-
she's either working with somebody or someone else is out there also doing stuff.
Well, she mentions a husband frequently that we haven't seen on
Mhm.
screen as well.
Senor Scratchy.
As far as Senior Scratchy and the rabbit, but with Wanda, she is double the size of the town. She was already losing control near the perimeter, and then she
Mhm.
pushed it. So that's a lot more
Yeah.
under her control.
She added
I
a
think-
circus.
Added a whole circus, a lot more people. She's really stretching to her limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In-
And also with Monica, in the comics, she does take on the mantle of Captain Marvel for a while,
Mhm.
like for temporarily. So I think you're right. She could be leading towards that.
What I found interesting is in the show, and that this is funny because Misty was talking about the fact that I had subtitles on earlier. So I have subtitles on all my shows, and there is in the very beginning of the show when they were they're like, if you have subtitles on, there is stuff there that I could not hear.
Yeah, that's common.
Like, and talking about the kids and stuff like that at the very beginning, talking about the Halloween carnival and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know that there was actual audio for that. I'm going to go back and watch it again.
A lot of times they'll do subtitles off the scripts and not actually the audio. Yeah.
And so, there is that. And like I said, you've got all these little, like you said, when Agatha got her theme song, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
She's dealing, she is the people who are not, I guess, under, I don't know if you want to say under Wanda's control, or the people who are acting strange are all interacting with her. It's like Wanda's doing one thing, and like you said, and Agatha's this agent of chaos, and she's basically infecting other people. Yeah. And like Nick said, when they would start going down to the basement, like I thought this was he said the upside down Stranger Things. Like that's what it looked like. Like, we need to borrow a set. Who's got something?
Well, and I mean, I think there's something to be said because Agatha is part of, or traditionally was part of, the Salem 7. And so it's very possible that there are other witches in the community that you just don't know about. And we haven't discovered them yet. And she also taught Scarlet Witch everything she knows in the comics. So there's that piece of it as well. So I don't know. There's a lot to be flushed out, I think. And then on top of that, how do we know that the people that Vision has talked to in the office, how do we know that that's not what Agatha's feeling? When he talked to the guy in the office, he was flipping out, like, she won't let me go. I feel her pain, all that stuff. And even what Rambo felt. How do we not know that that's, I mean, we were led to believe that it was Scarlet Witch, but how do we not know? How do we know for sure? Because it could be Agatha. And in the comics, that character has manipulated an entire town before. Like, they've taken over towns. Yeah. Same kind of thing. So, I don't know.
I would just say that moment when Vision was escaping the bubble and like dying, and his only words were like, "Save the people." What a hero moment! Like, what a real hero. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he and then he wakes up and he comes back, and like even you can tell like the pieces that came off of him, like he's looking for them and he's feeling it, and he's talking to Darcy about basically what. So now he knows what happened to him, which Wanda wouldn't tell him. So now he knows, and you've got two big pieces of stuff going on here because you've got Agatha doing her stuff, but you also have Hayward and basically him trying to essentially bring Vision back online.
Yes.
At the same time, based on what Darcy figured out. And so is there any connection between those two? I don't know. We lost Hannah. And we lost Sam.
Brilliant was that name. Cataract and Vision. As soon as they said Operation Cataract, Vision. Like, I love that moment. These little details.
Yep.
So,
I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some level of connection. There just has to be. I just don't know. I don't know.
Hayward wants Vision, and then Agatha really wants the kids. Those are unique entities. They're not being controlled. They are created out of nothing. They have these magical powers. Her whole thing is to get these kids away from Wanda for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So an interesting thought from something that I read yesterday was that Agatha actually borrowed from Mephisto to create the kids.
I heard about that.
So,
I read that.
So there's a lot of things that, in my opinion, it's kind of unwritten, and they can go whichever way they want. But I think it will help if they stick to some continuity. I don't know.
The article, one of the articles talks about to make Wanda and Vision sons. Agatha had Wanda borrow a few shards of the devil of Mephisto's soul to give the boys life, and eventually he takes those back. And when Wanda went mad with grief, like Hannah was talking about, we're seeing grief and things like that. Basically, Agatha erased her memory of the kids,
which is wild to even think about. Because, I mean, that makes so much sense. Like, think about it. Like, Wanda almost acts like she doesn't know why she's there up until she walks out of it.
Yeah, true.
And then when she walked back in, I mean, you know that she's aware that there's an outside of the hex.
Yeah,
but it's very interesting.
I mean, there's precedent that Agatha can control Wanda,
and Nicholas Scratch can control everything else.
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, here's the thing. They're setting up to some really amazing things, and we've got like an episode or two left.
One, right? We have one left.
I think we maybe there was this discussion, and I don't know if it ever got confirmed, of an extra episode, that there was 9, not 8.
Oh, because they are really building things up. I was wondering how they're going to resolve everything, and
they won't. It'll cliffhanger. Oh, it's going to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
No, they're going to wrap up a lot of stuff. But
no, it's going to be like
or that what's going to be amazing is that last episode is going to be like an hour and a half or something crazy. Like that would be something that nobody would see coming.
Well, they've already been getting a lot longer. It feels like.
Yeah. Well, of course, when you've got 14 minutes, did you notice that there was a actual post-credit scene this week?
Yes, I have a good theory as to why.
Okay, let's hear it because I want to know why.
So my theory, I actually heard this from a friend. I'm stealing this, but the post-credit scenes didn't become popular to the 2000s, and this was the first episode that got into the 2000 era. This is around that Iron Man 1 era, and it's very Modern Family theme that we can put a date on.
Well, so no, it was The Office, wasn't it? Wasn't the whole?
Yeah, Modern Family used the same format as The Office, and it's very much very similar. The Elizabeth Olsen is actually channeling the main actress from the Modern Family very well. Like the furniture, the set, it's very much Modern Family, which did take that documentary style from The Office, but it is 100% Modern Family.
Which was on ABC, which is owned by Disney.
Okay, it was so well done. I've been rewatching Modern Family recently, and as soon as I saw it, like the little expressions that Elizabeth Olsen was doing, the camera pan-ins was just beautiful.
Yeah.
So you think it's because of the setting of that particular episode?
That's what I was told, and I really like that theory is because my first theory was they're just messing with us. That we let our guard down after 6 episodes of I've watched every single one. This episode was the first after credits that I just stopped.
Yeah, because that's the thing that always drove me crazy about WandaVision, which is like, oh, I've got 10 minutes left. No, it's 10 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
Now there are little pieces in those credits, not any but like you said, this has been that part. But they are setting up so many things right now, and maybe they will get to the point with Agatha Harkness and stuff like that they are basically setting up what's coming for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Like, here's the thing: Catherine Hahn in the Doctor Strange movie, like, sign me up, I'll buy 5 tickets.
Yeah,
like
she's a great actress. She's nailing this role. So I love more with her. Yeah,
that's gonna be pretty amazing. There's so much that they are gonna get into, I think. That I mean, I don't know how you top this. Like,
they also have everything they haven't announced with the X-Men and all the Fox properties, so they could definitely do something more with Catherine in any of those franchises they have not announced yet.
Yeah, because all of spoilers in the comics, Wanda kills Agatha,
and the Salem 7, like all of them,
and all the mutants.
Yeah, and basically which starts the House of M, basically the House of M run. And so, but that's whether they go. Now, the one thing that they really did, like, they made sure they panned across that book very, very purposefully.
Yes.
Now, the thing about the book is basically a version or a type of book like that had showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And Runaways, the Dark
and Runaways.
It was in Runaways. I didn't think about that.
So, and so but here's the interesting part, and I didn't realize this in the comics. At some point, Captain America delivers that book to either Wanda or Agatha. I can't remember. Captain America has a link to that book. To the Darkhold, I believe. And so people were wondering how, Captain America was supposed to be the first show, not WandaVision. Captain America and Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first show, and that maybe at some point, how cool would it have been if, like, the end of that series, basically that after credits trailer scene has to basically putting him in that universe, putting him, with that book. I have to see if I can find the article again, but they were talking about there is a connection between Captain America and that book, if it is in fact that book. Yeah. Now we don't know if it is because there's so many magical books that some people are thinking, look, what Marvel likes to do in TV series is they like to blend a bunch of things together to make it, they're not pulling straight from the comics because then you know what's going to happen.
They're telling an original story.
Yeah, so there's no telling what that's going to be, but that book is obviously going to play a big role.
My favorite theory is the book does show like two orbs and worlds colliding, and then it has something to do with the multiverse, which would explain Quicksilver and their whole launching of the next phase.
And it would also explain how Doctor Strange gets in the middle of this, because that may be something that Doctor Strange would like to have possession of. One would say.
Well, and it's interesting. It's interesting to me that I get the multiverse side of it, but it's interesting that that post-credit scene doesn't really give you any understanding and leaves you with more questions, because like he sneaks up on her.
I have a theory.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
Let's hear it. Yeah, Snooper's gonna snoop. What does that even mean?
Monica's eyes were glazed purple, which we see in the About Agatha credits, and her theme song is when she's manipulating people, their eyes turn colors. So
she was blue. Her eyes were blue.
Originally blue. If you watch the post-credit scene, they're purple. When she faces through the wall and she has her electronic vision, they're blue. But in the post-credit scene, they are glazed purple, which is the same color of purple on the vines she was looking at. So I think she is being manipulated by Agatha, and Quicksilver is going to be the good guy and save her. I think she's going to be controlled as a villain.
Interesting.
Well, and I don't. What I was.
I didn't catch that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
I watched it twice.
I didn't catch that either. I thought it was blue.
It was very subtle, but it was definitely purple, and the same purple that we see for Agatha consistently.
So my thought with Monica is that her powers were Agatha to begin with, but that's a good point. So
it's just classic comic book. You go through the energies too many times, and her cells are being written, and they hinted at it.
Very similar. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Her powers were already had to do. She could form into energy waves. She could see energy waves. Very much electricity based. And so I actually like how they explain it with all these radio waves and TV waves and everything, how she's kind of digitized.
Well, and then that kind of is the same way that Fantastic Four got there. I mean, their cells were manipulated, so it kind of ties that in too.
Energy waves, yep.
There is a reference. Hayward makes a reference to not being able to get astronauts or something along those lines.
Aerospace engineer.
Yes, aerospace engineers. And so one of the articles I was reading is talking about they're going to go at it two ways. Either they were already up there, like during when the snap happened and all this other stuff, or because they can't get anybody else, what did they say? They said they let a scientist, his girlfriend, somebody else, and some guy they knew from the East Bronx go up into space because they couldn't get anybody else. So
was that from an article or was that from the show?
I thought that was an article. That was an article I read.
That wasn't in the show.
No. That was an article I read. Yeah. But they just made reference to the lack of astronauts, and stuff like that in order to do. Yeah, I agree with Nick 100%. They are absolutely backdoor piloting the Fantastic Four here.
I really want them to do. I really think Reed Richards is the aerospace engineer, and
I do too.
Yeah, I love that to be true.
Too. Yeah.
I mean, how rad would it?
Now?
Hey,
sorry.
Hi.
Here's the other reason I think that it's Reed Richards. At some point, Agatha in the comics worked for, studied under, she was a mentor for Reed Richards.
Have you guys talked about how the rumor that Reed Richards is John Krasinski, and how the opening was The Office? Like the theme song was very much like The Office, and so some people were saying that was their way of hinting that it was, or confirming that it was John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
I hadn't heard that. But that's amazing.
Man,
That's
if
amazing.
that's what they do, if they be like, guess what we did to you guys a while ago, and like we put all like at some point, like there needs to be a book about here are all the things we did that you either did catch or didn't catch, and Marvel is going to look like the most like crazy intelligent group. But that would make sense. He would make an amazing Reed Richards. Like that would be.
It needs to be like a Destiny lore book, but Disney
About
so it's
that.
like, yeah, it's like that thing.
I mean, that would.
He's the right age for Reed Richards.
Mhm.
He can nail that.
And so here, how awesome would it be? Like, this is just me wishing at this point is we've got an episode or two left of WandaVision. Like, one, I really hope that Doctor Strange shows up, even if it's in the last frame. Like, this I want to see. But how awesome if it would, like, introduce somebody like Reed Richards and they've kept it a secret this whole time.
I mean, they did it with Pietro.
They did. That's been the biggest pushback I've been reading is like, oh, the aerospace engineer can't be Reed Richards because we'd hear about the casting. I'm like, they could keep a secret.
Oh yeah.
And they launched.
We've talked about codes of conduct. Do you know what Disney's non-disclosure agreements like?
Yeah.
Like he probably got taken to set in a box.
Like unless you're Tom Holland, it's very good to keep a secret from Marvel.
Yes,
true. Do you think with Tom Holland they just tell him facts like? And they specifically don't tell him the right facts so that he can spread them.
He said they have lied to him before and told him wrong plot points so he couldn't ruin anything.
The easy way to deal with it.
Yep.
They also film alternates. They do that all the time. Yeah.
Did you guys know that Agatha's son, like at some point, was like reincarnated or whatever as Dormammu? Whatever.
Dormammu.
I can't pronounce any of it. So, like, that's another way it could tie in with Doctor Strange.
Oh,
apparently Joni's also watching the podcast because she said, your podcast has subtitles now. Y'all are big time.
No, we are all inclusive.
That's right.
So,
I did not know that, Hannah. I had read a little bit that Senor Scratchy, it was some sort of I said anagram earlier. I don't know if that's the right word. It's something, but basically a reference to the devil. And then also now I'm reading that the bunny may be her son.
Yeah, like the name of the bunny is supposed to be a nod towards her son.
Her name was Scratch. Yeah.
Did you?
Scratch.
I had all kinds of computer issues, so I don't know what you guys have talked about or not. But did you talk about the fly?
No,
we didn't talk. You talking about the locust-looking fly in the house?
Yeah.
No,
like
we did
some
not.
people like there is a comic where Mephisto was introduced as a fly.
What?
And so some people were saying that might be a nod to him, but that comic came out in 2020 after they had already started filming. So unless they were really planning, which it's Marvel, so they could have, but I don't know how much truth is into that.
That'd be pretty rad, though, if that was it. That's slick.
I mean, it would. Here, thing it fits though too, because when you look at traditionally spiritually evil beings tend to manifest in insects with flies and roaches and whatever. Like you see that before you see the being. Like it draws this, energy with it. And so, I mean, how awesome would it be if the big bads in the entire series was a rabbit and a fly?
Right.
Yeah.
And the nosy neighbor that never seems to care when the kids age up.
Yeah.
And always has
did with them.
like. And the thing is they did it so well because they made you think that it was her controlling Agnes, and that's why Agnes always appeared at the right time.
Yeah.
The misdirection was brilliant.
Yeah, it was so good, and I love the fact that now they're kind of like, we got you.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing: do they? I don't trust anybody anymore.
Well, and now I want to know more about Pietro, because at the end of the last episode when he was all Snooper's gonna snoop, like, so he can't really, we obviously know now he is not really Quicksilver, so who is he supposed to really be?
Yeah,
well, he's Quicksilver from
he's really
a different
Quicksilver
planet,
because he's awake, he knows his history, and he has all the memories of Pietro. Like, I think he's real.
But here's the
Well,
thing: how would he? But the thing, how would he know about Vision? He died before Vision did, and he said you can't resurrect your dead husband twice or whatever he said. So I don't think he is. If he is Pietro from another universe, which certainly they could from the whole X-Men multiverse, whatever, bring that in. Like it's clear that he's just not there. Somebody has informed, and it may be controlling him.
That's what I was
I bet he's one of the Salem 7.
Yeah.
I think he's a
someone
good
like
guy.
that.
Team Quicksilver. I'm calling it now. He's gonna save the day.
If you.
And the way it ended like that, because it was just a short, end credit scene, he could be saying that, and then next episode he's going to help her.
So I'll point out, Hannah,
Maybe.
if you look at her eyes, if you look at Photon Monica's eyes, they're glazed purple, which is the same purple magic that Agatha's using. So I think she's going to be manipulated and be controlled and be the villain, and I think Pietro's going to be the good guy.
Could be.
What I'm curious, I'm going to go look at that again because I want to. I'm wondering if it's in, because when her eyes are blue, it's obvious what they are. Like
Yes.
they are blue. Are they purple of that same level, or could you perhaps be seeing the reflection of what she's looking at? Because they're.
I think it's an obvious difference between the blue of her eyes from her powers and then the purple controlling. If you look at Agatha's theme song, she does that purple eye thing with a couple other people.
Okay.
It seemed pretty intentional. I don't think I'm confusing it.
Yeah. Here,
Stream it now and get us taken down.
Yes. At this point, please give us like a Salem 7. Give us an Agatha spinoff. Like, make it happen. Like, even if it's a prequel stuff, like, because there's no telling if Agatha is going to survive this, considering what has happened in the comics previously. But that character is so cool. Give us something. Give us some more. Like we were talking about, if she survives WandaVision, I hope she shows up in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. There's just
I think if we're right about why she's doing the things she's doing, I don't think there's a way she's not in Doctor Strange. Because I can't imagine they're going to do that big reveal and then next week she's just going to be gone. Like I can't.
And I don't
Marvel
see a
doesn't
fit
do
for
it that
her
way.
in the Captain America show. The tone doesn't really fit with the real world. Like the weirdness fits really well in WandaVision. It will fit really well in like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go a different direction with different villains for Sam and Bucky.
Oh yeah, for sure. They will probably reference stuff. You'll probably get references to Westview and the Hex and then all this other stuff. But WandaVision. It's
So I'll
amazing
point out
stuff.
another detail that I've been getting just from Cav's Wanda icon in the corner. Her powers are already been powers over reality, and from the beginning, the color of her powers are the same color as the Reality Stone. Long before they even told us they were reality powers, which is just amazing attention to detail and foreshadowing. She's doing reality stuff the whole time, and
because Reality Stone was the ether or the ether originally.
It was the ether. It was red, and she's been doing red magic powers the whole time. Yeah. She's been doing the power of the Reality Stone.
I thought in Age of Ultron when they tried to explain why she was not a mutant.
Yeah.
that they had said they had used what we now know as the Reality Stone or some sort of
It was the Mind
Stone. Okay.
They used the Mind Stone. It was from Loki's Scepter. Experiments with the Mind Stone by Baron von Strucker gave her the powers.
Yeah.
But the colors of her powers, it was just red. It was just kind of pretty. But now, later they introduced the ethers being the Reality Stone. And when Thanos does all his powers, the color of what he's doing corresponds to what power he was pulling from. And looking at this, it's the exact same color of red, which is just brilliant.
Something too, I want to talk about the commercial real fast too, because Hannah had mentioned basically they're going through basically the stages of grief, going into depression and stuff like that. And that commercial, laid that out specifically. And they were talking about, because it's like, it's the whatever, or maybe you don't care, or whatever it is. But the Nexus name is a specific reference to the Nexus beings.
Yes.
And
that
so
can see through the multiverse or exist in multiple parallel realms. Yeah.
Yes. So So and I believe that Wanda is Wanda a Nexus being?
Yes, she is in the comics. Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's so. Yeah. I thought that was.
And what's interesting, because Hannah said something a minute ago about how when they were explaining she wasn't a mutant, but in the comics she's always been listed as a mutant.
Yeah, this was before they had the movie rights to X-Men and stuff, so they had to like have their workaround.
They didn't have the rights. That's why we had 2 Quicksilvers.
Yeah.
They had rights to
Right.
Wanda and Quicksilver because they were Avengers, but Fox owned the word mutant and they couldn't say mutant.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
why
sense.
even when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wanted to bring in mutants, they had to do Inhumans,
Gotcha.
and that's what gave everyone power.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, is really pretty cool because in the Inhuman realm of things, there's 2 characters. It's a comic series. It's called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
I love that.
Yeah, and so Harper and I have read most of at least one of the books. We've got all of them, but we've read all of one of them, and really good comic about a girl who's trying to not become an Inhuman because she has the genes to react to the Terrigen cloud. So it's totally ties into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and ties into Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. I mean, it's amazing. So it's super cool.
I really wish Inhumans they would have done a better job with that.
Same.
Because I really liked the comics. I love the dog, and I like the crazy Mad Max uncle. He's not called Mad Max, but you
They
know.
did so much build for it. I know. I wish they could have landed it.
I added not Sam, but I muted him because we can hear Hannah in his feed.
Yeah, my laptop is right next to it because it wasn't working, and so he was
Gotcha.
trying to get it to work. We don't have his setup right now, and
It's all good.
I wasn't planning on joining until last minute because I wanted to talk about WandaVision.
WandaVision. This is So, is there anything else we want to talk about WandaVision wise, other than it can like at this point, because of what's going on, like I might get up when it launches, like when the new episode drops, because I don't know that I want to risk getting anything spoiled now.
These week delays are killing me.
Well,
I have to say, just like in general, for it, like it has been a really long time since I have been like so excited about something to where like I actually know when each episode is coming out. I don't know the day anything comes out for TV.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, like I'm just like I'll watch it whenever I see it online, but like I know Friday is WandaVision and we are immediately going to watch it as soon as we can. And I love just like the excitement of afterwards being like, okay, who has watched it yet?
Yep.
Who can I talk to this about?
I agree.
I have to Google everything immediately.
I agree.
And I think that was really cool. And normally I would wait, like with Mandalorian, if I got behind a couple of episodes, like I was fine, I could binge it. But this one, I kind of like that you have to wait because like it builds up that anticipation and then it makes like each reveal like so much crazier. And then you have that whole week like to just speculate like crazy and just wait for the next episode.
Yeah, it's like you have that time. It's like, okay, these are the things I was right about. I'm just gonna say we called Agatha was a witch a while ago. It's like these are the things that we are right about because, like you said, I do the same thing. After I watch the episode, it's like, okay, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Like I want to go back through and watch this stuff and go through that. So
and having these conversations and reading the articles, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's not appointment television like it used to be like back in the day because it's streaming, but really it's like nobody wants to wait, and for us like we don't want to wait to talk about it, which goes counter to what we have always done on this show. Like traditionally we give you a week, a week or something or whatever. Now it's like, well, okay, sorry, we're talking about it here. This is what happened. So
well, and I think that it's also because of the type of show that it is, and we've not had a movie experience that we could wait.
A vacuum.
I mean, there's nothing else there,
and it's also. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's also told in a way that is new to us.
Great point.
The way that they do it, like we've all watched something that has had to do with death or grief, and we obviously have seen a ton of superpower things, but like the way that they are going about it is completely new too.
The thing that personally I thought was going to be the most annoying about the entire thing is one of the best parts about the entire thing. Like how they were telling that basically the TV like
arrows of TV,
the arrows of TV and stuff like that. Like that was the thing that I had the
love
most.
it.
And here's the thing: after the first episode, I was not sold. But but then you get the episode 2, and then it builds. And yeah, here's the what I'm really looking forward to next is when it is done, is just going back and just binging all of it in one sitting. And watch it as one complete story.
I agree.
I also like as it progressed through, the decades and it got to modern, you saw the screen turn widescreen.
And they changed the aspect ratio. Yeah.
He did all of these little things that you maybe wouldn't have noticed or cared about that was really cool.
Can I just say I love the fact that they were playing Nintendo and then it switched to an Atari and then it switched to a GameCube and then it was a Wii remote. I just love that.
It ended up being Uno at the end.
Yeah.
That was really great.
Oh, WandaVision.
Yeah.
Hannah, that's what I was hearing is the reason they finally did an after credit scene is they got to the era of television that was popularized after the credit scenes.
That's what I thought too. And I thought I had heard that now that they're caught up to the modern era, that you're not gonna see I'm sure you're still gonna see I'll call them glitches and stuff, but it's not gonna keep changing decade wise anymore, the style of stuff in the way that we're used to it.
No, that's cool though if you think about it, because they've taken us along this journey of Leave It to Beaver TV all the way to current, and it's just it's amazing how they have done it, because the first episode we were watching it and I'm kind of thinking I don't mind it being in black and white, but I know my kid's not going to want to watch this, and then trying to figure out what in the world is going on and why are we here and where does this fall in the timeline and why is this trying to put it all together was fun, but then episode 2 came out and I was like, okay, yep, I'm here. There's no question now, I'm here.
Yep.
So
Sam, I have a task for you. I was thinking about this. Even though that WandaVision is almost to the point that it's over, I really think when she puts her hands like this, we need to make it say spoilers.
There you go. There you go.
I'll get right on it.
And if you guys do watch it prior to it, I need the heads up if it's kid worthy or not, because I walked into this last episode thinking, okay, all right. Oh man, what did I get into? How am I going to get her to
be a good judge for that? I'm sorry, I can't.
All right. Does that wrap up WandaVision?
Think so.
I think so.
For now.
Until next week, we talk about it for another hour. I love it. WandaVision. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Watch it, love it, enjoy it. Speaking
of two things, there's Harper.
In her unicorn pajamas.
Awesome.
Because we're lounging around here today.
Yep. A couple things that Nick mentioned, or that Hannah mentioned, and Nick mentioned, the aspect ratio thing and the black and white thing. I want to talk about Justice League now. The Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, we saw the new trailer. Oh, you haven't seen the new trailer? No. Go watch it right now.
No, I'm not going to.
We will watch.
No.
Go watch it.
No.
I haven't watched it either. Hang on.
The new trailer is awesome.
No, seriously, stop talking. I'm going to watch it real quick. Be quiet. No, kidding. Go ahead.
The aspect ratio is wonky on purpose. Because basically, when Zack Snyder's Justice League drops, it essentially, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's dropping in IMAX format. IMAX aspect ratio
for a streaming show. Yeah, that's what most people's home TVs are. Yeah,
exactly right. Because it's Zack Snyder. But the interesting thing is that he edited the film entirely in black and white.
Wow.
He did everything in black and white to the point that we are getting a black and white version of the Justice League. Of the 4-hour, there will be a black and white. They call it like the Justice is Gray edition or something. Probably something just to put on the disc. But it's
4 hours long.
It's 4 hours. It's going to be 4 hours.
White and an IMAX ratio.
Yes.
Is anybody going to end up in the ocean on a wooden door?
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be Aquaman.
At least
is someone going to say, I'll never let you go, and then let them go?
at least
Even though
4
there was
times.
enough room on the door for both of them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she's a
That-
murderer.
DC has
Hey, you
already
know
done
what?
that.
When you have had everything in your life, you're going to have everything. In your
It's
life.
0
You know what I
degrees
mean?
Fahrenheit.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, it's going to now. What I don't know is if it's now because Christopher Nolan did this too with like Dark Knight and stuff like that. Whereas part of the movie is widescreen and part of the movie is shot for IMAX. And if you watch it in IMAX, you are going to see it in its in its IMAX glory. Like the whole thing changes, and it's really in IMAX thing. It's really like the entire opening scene, Dark Knight, like the bank heist and everything. It was shot in IMAX. And when
It was shown in IMAX.
it was shot in the right format to be shown in IMAX. Same thing when he's in Japan getting that guy and stuff like that. Same thing. Like you watch it in the theater, does that. So I don't know if this is going to be the entire movie is going to be this way, which I would be fine with, or it's going to be the widescreen to tall, type of thing.
Yeah, usually those cameras are very expensive, so it's hard to film a whole movie. Do it. For it, they just do certain scenes.
What I found interesting talking, reading some of the articles that Deborah Snyder has been doing, kind of leading in the build-up of this stuff, is everyone's talking about all this footage they reshot and all this other stuff. They shot one scene, uno. That's it, and they had to include Ezra Miller, who was shooting Fantastic Beasts at the time, and so what they did.
Oh, he had that mustache on.
And so it's exactly right. And so what they ended up doing is the crew from the Fantastic Beasts shot him on a green screen and streamed that footage back to Zack Snyder. And Zack Snyder was on a Zoom call with him, basically giving him direction on what they needed to do.
That's hilarious.
So
are we gonna have another mustache gate? Because I
don't
can't
know.
handle that.
Well, here's the thing: they're gonna
This whole
have
thing is a mustache gate.
they shot one extra scene, but they had to do almost 2,500 new visual effects.
Yeah.
So it's I'm excited about
1,100 of
this.
those are Ezra Miller's mustache.
It could be. It could be.
So if he's shooting in IMAX, is it going to be released in theaters?
That is that's kind of where I was wondering if he did it in that aspect ratio, whether it gets a limited release. If I'm Warner Brothers and I think I'm going to make a few extra dollars, yeah, why not? Like
that could be their triumphant return to the theater.
A 4-hour IMAX movie.
Yeah.
People would go see it.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sure we would.
Yeah. I mean, here's the real question though. Do you get an intermission in the middle?
So I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at like Return of the King. Did Return of the King have an intermission, the extended version in theaters? Because the extended's 340, I think. Honestly, the only memory I have of an intermission was Dances with Wolves when I was a kid. So, and I don't know what the runtime is on that. So, but if it's almost 4 hours, I mean, man, if they release in the theaters, I think it'd be great. And I'm hoping for a physical release too. Say what you want about Justice League. I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to watch the old Justice League like the day before the new one comes out.
3 hours and 56 minutes is Dances with Wolves.
Thank you.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm gonna go see that in a movie theater.
I'm not
at all. I just don't.
It's really long.
Yeah. On top of
I
that, I don't
mean-
want to pay for it. I'll just be honest. I don't. Because
I
it's
don't
not going to
either.
be that different of a story.
might be.
I highly disagree with that statement.
I
mean,
know.
that
We'll
may be
see.
something. Yeah.
On my phone.
We'll see.
On my phone, on my high definition widescreen. It may be the
IMAX
only
phone.
way. If you watch it like this in portrait mode, it might fill up your actual screen if it's in IMAX format.
It might.
Oh.
I mean, when they release it on HBO Max, and if it just turns out to be like super amazing, I could see them releasing it in theaters and people going.
Yeah, I do too.
I think people are looking for a reason to go, and I think the real movie diehards are looking for a reason to go to, like the Warren and the IMAX. Anything that was a big movie staple that they haven't been able to do in over a year. I think it'd be a nice welcome back.
It's true. Yeah, I mean that's at this point, like I said, I just like one of the interesting things I have been reading is like what people have been, the theaters have been, they've been doing those private screenings and stuff like that for people, but they've also been renting out theaters for people and bringing their video game consoles now.
Yay!
Perseverance has landed its rover on Mars. It has sent back some images. The images are slightly terrifying. You've got this one, that's pretty, that's not bad.
Is that Utah?
I don't know where that is, but the one that concerns me the most is this one.
Right. And that was the last they heard of the rover.
Exactly. The rover. The rover's been taken apart for parts.
Yeah.
I've also
They
seen.
destroyed it. No, Jawas don't destroy. They dismantle.
I've also seen the aliens from Mars Attacks.
Nice. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. And then I also saw one where there's a McDonald's off in the distance.
Yes, McDonald's.
I mean, my favorite.
Did you guys see the video that it sent back?
Mm-mm.
So there,
I saw the
so
pictures.
when it landed and the camera was up and rotated around, it showed a video of the landscape of Mars. And the craziest part of it all is the sound that the video recorded, which I can only assume is radio waves bouncing off the planet. But some level of noise is being produced on Mars, and maybe it's wind or who knows exactly. But it was real strong, and then it panned, and it got really loud, and then it pans a little bit more, and the sound almost goes away. It's wild.
They're having a house party, and they just found out other people were there, so they had
Like
a
cops.
Yeah.
Cops, go! Yeah, I'll post it in the Discord.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
So it was a long road trip for them, almost 300 million miles. I don't know what their miles per gallon were. Had to be pretty good. But here's the thing: it did it in 6 months.
It's amazing.
So it's pretty awesome. We're on Mars. I'm looking forward to seeing whether images and stuff we get there. So
I'm interested just to be able to see more of a planet. Like that's rad if you think about it.
Mhm.
And on top of that, there's that movie on Netflix, and this is totally not related. I mean, it is related, but not in a serious way. But there's a Hilary Swank movie on Netflix where she goes to Mars.
Isn't it a series?
And maybe. And I haven't watched it, but a lot of the ham radio guys were like, so I guess Hilary Swank's Baofeng, which is just like a little cheapo depot radio like this. I'll cover up the logo because I don't want to get sued. But anyway, she uses it to communicate with whatever is going on. Well, apparently the rover, to send the signal back to Earth, is communicating on a frequency that radio would work on. So like they were saying, like, apparently Hilary Swank's Baofeng wasn't as far off as I thought.
So I don't want to downplay the rover, but haven't we been on Mars before with other rovers?
Yeah, there was one other one, right?
What is there?
Curiosity?
Are they just
There's
like
been a
because
couple
that
more.
one has end of life and so they're just replacing it, or is this one different somehow?
New
This one
capabilities. It
Yeah,
has
this
a
one has a
drone,
drone.
so it
Yeah.
can actually get aerial shots, and it can send stuff off for aerial shots and different perspectives. It has dig soil samples, and then there's another mission that's going to pick up those soil samples and bring them back to Earth.
Okay,
It's
cool.
also region. I mean, it's a big planet, so if you think we're getting in different areas, so they have a limited range in that area that they can travel around to. If you think of like how diverse the Earth or the Moon can be, so in a different area you can find different signs of water, different minerals, different soil textures. So,
Gotcha. Thank you.
but the drone on it is pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like it's tethered though. Is it tethered to the
I'm not
rover?
sure, could be.
I think it is.
I would think it would need to, so it wouldn't get lost.
Nick, did you ever read or watch The Martian? With Matt Damon?
I have not seen or read, but I've heard that they are amazing.
Not for kids.
Amazing, lots of science, but
The book was really good.
book's
I
very
mean, the
good. And the
movie was
narration,
really good.
they're all three, audiobook, book, movie.
Yeah.
He gets stranded on Mars and his antenna breaks, so he finds an old rover and uses the antenna from that to transmit out, since it uses like the same frequencies and everything. So it's kind of cool how he
Yeah.
connects his radio to the antenna on the rover, kind of what you're talking about.
Well, and I think the funnier part of it, just because since Cav's gone, we can talk about whatever.
Artemis is good.
Take that,
Yeah.
Gav.
The funnier part of it is that the radio I held up is literally a $30 to $50 radio. Like
Yeah.
it is not quality by any stretch. And a lot of people buy them to get on their air after they get their license, pretty regularly. So the joke was, why would someone send a mission to Mars with a $30 radio?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why would they do that? And so anyhow, that was the joke. And then to find out that the rover actually communicates on a frequency that would actually work on is even funnier.
Well, to speak to Hannah's point, they plan out these missions so far in advance. A lot of times when they're taking these photos on the rovers, your cell phone camera has a better sensor and takes better photos, but they had to plan out the power requirements and the weight requirements. That a lot of times the technology is almost 10 years old by the time it lands on Mars. So as far as them keep sending out new rovers, the technology is going to be probably pretty far advanced from the last rover.
Gotcha.
They plan these things out like a decade in advance.
So apparently, and I'm gonna do a little more research, but apparently the video I was trying to find is actually a fake. So there's that. Hey, it was from a trusted source. It was from
maybe
a
it was
meteorologist.
the Martian trailer.
Maybe, but apparently the video with that level of sound that I was talking about is not it's a fake video. So there you go, people.
GTA, don't trust us.
Yeah. I just want you to know we're going to make a better fake video.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I will own up when I make a mistake, and I made a mistake. So
it happens.
There's going to be a ton of those floating around, though.
Well, and the thing was, is it absolutely was a video of the rover, or at least somebody created one that looked like the rover. So I'm not 100% sure that the video itself wasn't real, but the audio of it was fake. So who knows? But apparently it's gone viral, so you should be able to find it pretty easily.
We'll put our own spin on it.
There you go.
Are we waiting on Cav? Is that what's going on?
Sam, I beat Shovel Knight, and it was amazing.
I refuse to believe anyone has ever beat that game. It is too hard.
I thought
The boss
you beat
fight.
the game.
So hey, exciting news, friends!
Yeah.
Marvel
Yes, sir.
Studios gets the Punisher and Jessica Jones back.
Yes.
Rights back from Netflix,
And they already had Daredevil.
which means that we may get more of what we loved on Disney Plus.
And they've been rumored to be in conversations with those actors and to bring them back because they nailed those roles.
They absolutely did. You cannot tell me that what is his name?
Charlie Cox. John
No.
Bernthal.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
You can't tell me he is not made to play Punisher.
Made. That's the
Right.
best casting of a lifetime.
And Jessica Jones, like I didn't know a lot about her until after the fact.
yeah.
And I'm not sure there's a better actress for that either.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
not.
hear-
She was really
The
good.
Personality, like that
Personality,
sarcastic,
yeah.
like that's perfect.
Exactly.
I did hear
Exactly.
rumors that they're recasting Iron Fist and going a different direction with Iron Fist.
Which is disappointing, except for the fact that there's an explanation for that, only
Yes.
because there are more than one Iron Fist. So
Multiple
that
Iron
works.
Fist. That makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
So that
Yeah.
works, but it's disappointing only from the fact that I think you could flesh that character out a little bit more.
Agreed.
And Cav and I, well, and you may have been in that same panel in Denver, but
Mm.
he explained, like in the first season, he was trying to figure out who the character was. Second season, he knows a little bit more. So potentially, it could
Just
get
trying to find
better.
his footing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think he had as much time yet to like train and get in shape and stuff. So that first season, like I think they were kind of making fun of him for stunt work and stuff, but he just he hadn't had the time, and I think he could have grown into it more.
Well, Daredevil set such a high bar for stunt choreography
Yeah.
and fight scenes. It was just so amazing.
true.
And then to be the martial art hero, do a lot of kind of cheap stunts with some of their cuts and choreography was just. I didn't blame
Yeah.
him. I just thought they could have got the same guy they got to do Daredevil and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
I'm Danny Rand.
You
Sorry.
have to admit, like, 'cause,
I'm the Iron Fist.
like Daredevil had already come out,
Yeah.
and Luke Cage
2
had already
seasons.
come out.
Yep.
So you saw like all of these cool fight scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and so then you got Iron Fist, and you're like, this is not what I expected. Like it wasn't
looked like a
bad, it
DC
just
show,
wasn't
yeah.
up to those standards.
It would have been great if it came from DC.
Exactly
Like,
right.
Best TV show ever. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm very excited that we can finally play. Marvel can play with all their toys, except they don't fully own Spider-Man, but they can play with that action figure anyway.
Yeah.
They can play with the action figure.
Everyone's come
It's
home.
funny.
I just want to see a lawyer, Matt Murdock, start tying into other shows like Spider-Man and stuff like that. I think that would be great.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
There-
Kev, while you were out, the video I was talking about the sound we discovered was fake.
And you said we could trust the internet.
Hey, man. You
I
know,
mean,
do
here's the
what I
thing.
can.
I mean, that sound, I just assumed it was a giant sand crawler. Like, and that's why the Jawas showed up and it disappeared. Like, I just assumed.
It all makes
Yep.
sense.
Yes,
Yep.
it all
We agree.
makes.
And we just talked about how excited we are that Disney now owns, or Marvel, excuse me, now
Marvel
owns the rights to
Studios.
Punisher and
And
Jessica
Jessica
Jones again.
Jones.
And they already
So
own
excited.
Daredevil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daredevil had already.
Super excited. That's amazing.
Mojo's making a lot of noise. I don't know if you can hear it. He's chewing on a bone back there.
It's a fake noise.
It's a fake noise.
It's a fake noise.
We'll fix it post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Hershey's not snoring.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, there's Mojo. Say hi,
Mojo, what do you
Mojo.
need, buddy.
so cute.
Hi, Mojo.
See Mojo?
He had his paws up here a couple days ago trying to get to food. Yeah, I got Mojo and Milo right there. Fun. Okay. Well, we got a lot of games to talk
It's
about,
not.
I think. So,
Let's go for it.
Last of Us, this is sort of game related. The Last of Us has cast the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, as Joel in the HBO series adaptation. And they also have cast the other role, and I completely forgot who it went to. It's the girl from Game of Thrones who played the very young queen, basically the most badass queen of the North. And she was really young.
Lady Mormont.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
who. Yes, that is who is starring opposite Pedro Pascal in The Last
Great.
of Us show
She needs
on,
more roles. She was
on
great.
HBO. Bella Ramsey, yes, is set to play Ellie, so that's pretty awesome.
Very
Uh,
cool.
I mean, I can definitely picture both of those actors in those roles. That's
Agreed.
really well done.
Let's see what
No
else is.
relation to Ramsey Bolton.
Let's hope
That
not.
dude was crazy.
Okay. You had talked about Blizzard before, and BlizzCon is going on right now. Blizzard has announced Diablo 2 Resurrected is almost a complete 4K remaster of Diablo 2 for the consoles and for PC. And cross progression will be a thing. So you can play on both and progress your characters up. People are very excited about this. It will launch this year. It will be $39.99 on all platforms. So
Why can't I
And
play it
no-
on my phone?
and no microtransactions.
Woohoo!
So people are pretty excited about that. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome to see that in 4K.
It is.
That map's going to be huge now. So, but and as Sam will attest, like if there's not a murderous llama, I'm not sure I'm really all that interested. Like I need
Maybe
a pet.
pull one in.
I need a pet. I need a homicidal llama. If you played Shadows of Mordor, finally the Nemesis system has been granted a patent. A patent has been approved for WB Games for that system. It has taken a long time for this to happen. Other developers are not super thrilled about this. Really, because I watch a lot of Shark Tank. Basically, this is a licensing deal, is what it's going to be. Like they're going to license this to other. I'm sure they'll license this to other developers. Like
Is this going to affect
Still terrible.
retroactively? Because games have already included similar.
I
systems.
know for so long.
I don't know. I it's one of those. I guess the Shadow of Mordor, the game's online servers were shut down last month, I guess, and so it has. I don't know that it's gone retro.
Wait, online servers? Does it have online multiplayer?
It just says Shadow of Mordor with the game's servers being shut down last month. So,
I enjoyed
no,
the game.
removing various features from the game, such as leaderboards and the Nemesis Forge.
Who cares?
So yeah, like you said, anytime something like this gets patented, it impacts the development of other things. Because if something is close enough, WB's just going to try and sue. But if they license this, it's one of those things. Like if they license it because they know it's a good system, this could also help smaller developers to basically play in a bigger sandbox and have that system already built. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're not licensing the right to create your own similar system. You can actually just buy it as a module and plug it in.
If I had to guess, that's where they were going with this. Is like, hey, we're going to patent this system, and then it's kind of like how a lot of different people use the Unreal Engine. You just have to pay
code
for
library.
it. Yeah. So.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So I mean, we'll see
how it gets implemented.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. Lots of news for Super Mario. The original soundtracks get a high quality remaster.
I've been listening to those on a loop.
Oh, have you?
Nice. Yeah,
that's awesome. So yeah, high quality remasters for the Super Mario soundtracks. You can check the link on our page if you want to go and look at those.
Also, speaking of Super Mario Brothers, they are doing a thing in Animal Crossing upcoming where you can start to get Super Mario Brother themed things, including the pipes, so that you can transport yourself to different areas of your island.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I love cross environment play, like something like that. I mean, it's Nintendo. Like, we're just gonna make more money.
I mean, they might as well just put Mario in everything that they do.
That's true. I mean, it's like Disney puts Mickey Mouse pretty much in everything. I'm the only one who has a camera now. So Crackle is going to. I didn't even know.
Hannah has one.
I didn't even know that the streaming service Crackle was still going, but apparently they're going to premiere a 5-part documentary about Nintendo's history next month. And so that's always fun. Playing with Power, the Nintendo story, will get released on March 1st on Crackle. It tells the, quote, sprawling story of the secretive Japanese company, includes interviews with individuals like former Nintendo of America CEO Reggie Fils. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Head of Thank you, Phil. Yeah, then head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, former Sega of America CEO, Tom Kalinske, Atari's co-founder, and NOA's co-founder as well. And so this is going to be pretty interesting. Hey, it's not Sam. So it will be made available on Crackle beginning of next month. So that might be an interesting watch for sure.
That's not good lighting.
No, it's not. The backlighting is bad. So Mario Golf, because Mario, like you said, is in everything. Super Rush has unexpectedly revealed a new character that nobody expected. In addition to Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, Yoshi, and other characters, it looks so many characters. It looks like they'll be able to play golf with King Babam. And so anything with Babam, I'm in favor of. So
I mean, just the fact that there is a new Mario Golf game coming out is exciting for everybody. What I've always kind of wondered is, I mean, it's pretty much been a very standard golf, like surprisingly standard golf game. Mm-hmm. I wonder if implementing King Babam, one of the things it mentioned in the article is that he was described as, I don't know, tossing bombs out on the course, something like that.
Sweet.
I wonder if it's going to get more. I didn't play the last generation's Mario Golf game, so I don't know how much they've added to it. But I'd really like a kind of a mini golf type, a more whimsical course type thing.
Or it's like Mario Kart but playing golf, and you can just sabotage each other all over the place.
And that would be
amazing. Man, I was terrible at the Wii golf. If you guys keep adding in stuff, I'm gonna be even worse.
So yeah, there's no telling what you're gonna get. In Mario Golf Super Rush. And
of course, new characters. That's interesting.
I mean,
That's not the one I expected.
nobody suspects of a bomb.
Nobody.
Like, I mean, that's the whole point of the bomb. Like, nobody expects it. So, speaking of Blizzard, also Blizzard Arcade Collection bundles 3 classics together: Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. It's available in console stores for $20 right now. There's also some 30th anniversary bundles as well. So during BlizzCon, I'm sure there's gonna be even more Blizzard news. In how long ago did they release World of Warcraft Classic? I don't even remember at this point. Was it like a year, 2 years, something like that? And so they are doing it again. They are bringing Burning Crusade back.
2019.
2019. So they're bringing back Burning Crusade, and they are going to tweak things just a little. They're making some tuning changes, some broader experience, things like that. So World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade Classic, will come later this year. So
I thought it was kind of funny that they were talking about how the changes they're making is they're adding in like the pre-nerfed bosses. People were wanting more of a challenge, but originally when it first came out, people were like, no, it's too much.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me.
And now they're like, yeah, we're good with it.
Yeah. So
yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I know I've got a few friends who play those games pretty in depth. That is the one game I will not start because I know what will happen if I do. You'll never see me again. So, and if I do ever resurface, I'll have like this giant long gray beard and I'll look like Gandalf. So,
and you'll be a wizard.
And I will be a wizard, both in game and in real life. So, oh boy. Other things going on. So I've never played Terraria. Is it out? Is it a game?
It's a game.
It is a game.
It's been out forever. It is one of the. It's kind of like Minecraft in that it was. It's kind of a building type game. It's 2D pixel art, side-scrolling type. But yeah, it's been out for a long time.
And Ben plays it all the time.
And
I've done a little bit. Yeah.
I guess it was being prepared for Google Stadia.
It was originally launched in 2011.
Wow.
So,
okay.
As you can imagine, it's been on pretty much every platform for the last 10 years.
Nice. But it won't be coming to Stadia. Apparently, things started with a developer when Terraria's official YouTube channel was disabled, and I guess access to a bunch of his Google accounts and things like that for the developer he lost access to all of those as well, including his Gmail, his access to his Gmail address of over 15 years, and basically Google didn't really do much about it. I mean, as Google does, and they basically says he tweeted and said, "I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service. If I can take this as no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge, consider it burned. Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled."
And it's so sad. I mean, admittedly, it's not the biggest name out there, but I mean, it's a really popular game in some circles. It's got really high ratings pretty much everywhere you go. And again, it's been on every single platform pretty much.
For the last 10 years, yeah.
You can get on your PlayStation, your Xbox. It's ubiquitous.
Uh-oh.
But
Mojo escaped. Sorry.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing is Google wasn't willing to work with him on it, and that is very disappointing.
Yeah, and I saw another article talking about. Hang on one second, I'll be right back.
Nick, Earth2 Church,
Yeah.
you played Terraria?
I have
never
2D
even heard of it.
Minecraft.
2D Minecraft. That's a pretty good explanation.
Did it come out before Minecraft or after?
Oh, that's a good question. When did
I heard
Minecraft
about
come
it several years after, and it was kind of like, oh, you like Minecraft? Then check out this, and it's a little bit more single player. I haven't put that many hours into it, but it was fun.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I've played it off and on forever.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played it.
So
Minecraft originally launched November 2011. Is that right? And Terraria
right.
was May 2011. So technically, Terraria came first,
Oh wow.
and then unfortunately it was followed by Minecraft.
and everybody forgot about it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, actually, that's pretty appropriate. That's
So
Anyway.
All right, gang. Well, anybody got anything else? Jawas on Mars,
I do.
WandaVision. You do?
Fall Guys is coming to Switch and Xbox this summer, which is fantastic.
we've been playing a lot of Fall Guys. It's a lot of
A
fun.
lot, and it's a big multiplayer, like lots of people game. So being able to like double and triple your user base, the next big thing they just need to do is cross-platform play, which we
That would
weren't
be
sure
nice.
at this point if it's a technical hurdle or just PlayStation being a bunch of jerks. So once it comes onto Microsoft and Switch, then we'll know.
That's the thing. I'm not a fan of a lot of the multiplayer experiences these days. There's most of the kind of really big competitive games like that are shooters and people are jerks. But yeah,
Especially the Battle Royale games. Yeah.
Battle Royale games, yeah, not my cup of tea. But Fall Guys, a lot of fun.
Battle Royale, but not super stressful. Not actually competitive.
Speaking of cross-platform, they have this is the dog edition of this show, of this video. Like all the dogs are showing up. Bungie made a big change to Destiny for I guess keyboard and mouse were getting this pretty big stability buff on everything, and that was one of the big hurdles for cross-platform, basically cross-platform play. So Xbox, PC, everybody could all play together, and apparently that buff is gone now. So they have said cross-platform for Destiny is coming this year.
Oh wow!
And so if they pull that off and it does well, that will be such a huge kind of sea change in the industry, like in terms of reality of like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, everybody can play in one space. And kind of drop those barriers. And also Bungie also announced, we can get into it next week, a massive expansion, not for Destiny, for Bungie, including bringing on additional people to bring the Bungie universe outside of traditional games into more platforms, probably looking like film and TV, based on what some of the people they brought on, but also a huge expansion of their actual physical headquarters. And so, for everyone who says it's a dead game, well, I believe you're incorrect. So I will say they did drop a new mission for a new exotic scout rifle.
It's awesome.
The mission was so much fun.
Yeah.
Me and Barry did it yesterday. It was
Josh,
lot of fun.
Josh and I ran through it on Tuesday night, and I had no idea that it was even a thing because I hadn't looked on the internet or anything. I had just been playing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, there's this new exotic quest. Let's go do it." And I'm thinking, okay, it's the quest marker, right? It's not like it's not an actual activity. And then all of a sudden it was an actual activity, and we were having to find holes and everything in the middle.
Holes
of the
and
night.
vents and spores and spore doors. Yeah. I spore doors, by the way, trademark cat. As I was
listening to creepy voices.
Yeah, super creepy voices. It's pretty fun. So I like what's happening over there.
I still haven't been able to port my Xbox character, so I'm just going to start over at level 1 on PC. So I may ask you guys for some
100%. I am. We will take you through anything and everything you need to do.
I don't play on PC though, Sam.
You should.
Here's the thing. I don't want to pay for the game again.
Do free to play.
Do
the free to play stuff. There's a ton of free to play
just wait for
content
them
there.
to finally figure out cross-platform play. It'll just be a couple more years.
So
I did get Sea of Thieves. Just saying.
It is
We need to play it.
Cross-platform play.
Oh, there's an event going on, right?
I did get that for PC.
Isn't there an event? Isn't that
fishing
what you're
event.
showing me? They had the purple sales for, or is that something else?
Yes.
They're doing new Hunter Call events, which will be
They're
really
doing.
nice.
I don't know. We played it a little bit last week, and I've completely forgotten what the event was we were doing.
Last week we were doing Order
Pirating.
Souls events. It was a lot
Yeah.
of skull missions, which were very fun. We did with Josh.
That was fun.
And
Yeah.
then this next couple weeks is going to be Hunter's Call. So a lot of hunting Megs and doing stuff we already do. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that because that's one of my lowest guilds.
Yeah,
so
me
Nick,
too.
definitely join us for that. We can teach you how to fish.
And there's no benefit to having played it for 5 years or 5 minutes. Everybody
Yeah.
is on the same platform.
Everyone's on the same
and
platform.
Real
to
nice.
Same price.
clarify, when you say hunting Megs, there's like big giant megalosaur.
Megalodons?
Megalodon.
Not
Sharks.
Meg from Family Guy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
wow, that would have been that would have been the event.
it's not like just going out and fishing like in real life.
They are sharks that are bigger than your boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And they were glitched for a while where you could kind of like, they
They're
would
push your boat.
push your boat
instead
and you
of
could just
sinking your
stand on
boat.
top of them.
Yeah.
You could shark surf.
But they fixed
Shark
that.
surf.
So now you can't do that anymore.
You could take a little rowboat or harpoon them, and they would drag you around. And it was pretty
Oh,
crazy.
man. I mean, you can still do that, right?
You can still do that. Yeah.
I've done it a couple times and you guys got real mad at me.
Well, everybody play more games.
Of course.
That's
With us this weekend. Sea of
Especially
Thieves
with us.
and
Sea
Fall
of
Guys.
Thieves.
yes. I can't this week. I am unavailable this weekend. We've got hockey this weekend, so home
You
games.
don't own those
so-
games anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. You never played with us. Why not? If you own
No.
them,
Because
why
I
you play
lo-
with us.
All I play is Destiny. So-
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
all right, gang. This has been episode 175. What are we calling this one? Agatha
Compromise
rules.
position.
Compromise positions. Yeah. That was it.
Compromise positions.
That's because all your freezing you did.
That's
Uh-huh.
true. Yeah, I got to figure this out. I don't.
Agatha rules.
Yeah, Agatha
It
rules.
was Agatha all the time.
Wanda drools.
Yes, Agatha. I'm just gonna call it Agatha. I'm just gonna call it Agatha all the time.
There you go. There you go.
So, all right, gang.
All right, guys.
Well, more WandaVision next week. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. 175. I'm Kev. That's Nick.
See you guys.
Earth 2 Church.
Cantaloupe, begotten, subwoofer, barnacle, slippery when wet, portable toothbrush.
Church.
What he said. Hannah.
Bye, I'm not evil.
Not Sam.
Yeah, Hannah's a little evil today.
Everybody have a great weekend. Everybody stay
See you
safe.
guys.
Bye.